What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the CheezeTalk podcast. I'm your host, Brian, and tonight I'm joined by uh, a good friend of the show, Aaron Chill Cheesehead Davis. What's going on, man?
Go on, Brian. How you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
A lot has happened since the last time we talked, and
Mm,
I guess my main question is, how do you think the health of the Packers are right now, about halfway through the season? Um, Injuries, um, some wins that should have been, or some losses that should have been wins.
mm, um. There are some health issues that they're definitely concerns. Like Marshawn Lloyd, we wasted a third round pick on him. Don't like that. Um. Receiver injuries to our receivers, which I'm not too concerned about because it looks like Wicks might play. Davion Williams might be good to go. Golden might be good to go. So I think our receivers will be fine. Van Ness being out for more than a few games is a bit concerning too, but I feel like it might just be another week or two till he plays again. So, but I'm not too terribly concerned because most of our players are still playing; they're healthy. So I'm not too concerned. Little concerned, but not too concerned.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about Marshawn Lloyd. When
Mm-hmm.
Lafleur made the comment like we'll have to send him out west, like I don't, what does that mean? What does he mean by sending him out
Yeah,
west?
specialist. Yeah, see, a specialist. But that's not. That's like when we had to send out, like when we had to send both Watson and Eric Stokes when he was on the team to see a specialist in Madison that deals with hamstring issues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't that
big
what he's
deal.
dealing with too? Is a hamstring, Lloyd? Isn't that what he
No,
has?
not that. It's not that. No, it's not a hamstring. It's something else. But they're being very vague about, it, and I don't like that.
Well, and I think I mean, from what he showed us in the preseason, and I think he showed us why they're hanging on to him because he can be
Mm-hmm.
explosive, and if they can get past
Mm-hmm.
this injury thing, I think he'll be a huge part of the offense,
Oh yeah, he was.
hopefully in the future.
Yeah, he was the number one running back in the draft when we got him. So
Yeah,
he's got a lot of potential. He just needs to get his health in check.
right. What are your positive reflections so far in the Packers?
Overall in general, the team's actually doing really well statistically. I went ahead and looked at the stats. If you don't mind, if it's okay, I can pull up stats.
Yeah,
So I want to also I want to preface this bit by saying to Packer fans to not panic on this season, and I'll tell y'all why. Because our defense right now, people are concerned about our D line and our cornerbacks and all that. Our defense is only our defense is fifth in yards per game.
right.
Passing yards per game, we're ninth. And that's with having Nixon and Hobbs and Valentine and have the depth that we had, the lack of depth we have at corner. They're still top 10 passing defense. They're fifth in rushing and they're eighth in points per game. So our defense is no concern. Offensively, we're not doing too bad either. We're eighth in yards per game and 11th in points per game. So we just, which I think, like the Panthers game is, I think, a good example though. And then one of the reasons why we've been struggling is we're not capitalizing on all of our opportunities. The Panthers game, we went to the red zone almost every drive. We were driving down the field, and then we're not capitalizing. The Savion Williams fumble, missed field goal, that horrible 4th and 8th call that I still don't understand. We could have just took a field goal there, and I think it would have been a better result. But
Even that interception across the middle,
yeah,
that when he's trying to throw in the triple coverage to Watson,
the wind being a factor though, and that didn't help. But it's like
yeah,
I get he's trying to go big more, and I understand that. And having Watson back, you definitely feel a little more comfortable. He feels a little more comfortable going deep, which I get that. But if you see 2-3 guys in the area, I don't understand why you throw that ball. But
Yeah, I have, I guess, a couple of things that I've it's kind of peeved me. I mean, obviously, I don't make final decisions for anything except for my own brain and like what my thought process. But has he not learned, LaFleur, that if you don't go for the 4th and 5s in the first half, but you go for them in the second half, those come back to bite you in the ass? He has shown that he has the creativity as a play caller to get people wide open on 4th and short, 4th and 4, 4th and 5, at any point in the game. But when you decide to not go for it on 4th and 5 in the first half, and then you do it in the second half, and it's just I don't see why. I mean, I guess whatever. It's just frustrating to see some of these outcomes. It's like we always let these teams that people that are bad. We always seem to play down to them, and I don't get like you just go for the jugular and don't give up. That's how it's got to be. That's how you set a tempo for the whole season. You don't play one game, badass. The next game you lay off. The next game, I mean, you should bring your all every single game. I mean, I'm sure they are. The players are trying, but it's got to be frustrating. I mean, so the Browns game and the Panthers game, I had that feeling from beginning to end. It was giving me one of those games where it's just like we're not going to win. You can just tell by the way the plays are playing out and just some of the calls, and it's just you get that feeling that it's like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I was going to say about it.
You're not worried about Jordan Love, are you?
No.
Yeah, I was going to
No,
say
I'm not
people
worried
people are just pooping their pants over Jordan Love, and there's no reason to.
13 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions on the year. I think he's doing fine. He's also top 10 in passing yards per game. He's also top 10 in QBR and overall passing rating. He's not the problem. The problem is LaFleur being so darn conservative with him and not letting him loose. Love can throw the deep ball. Love can throw pretty much any pass you ask him. You just got to let him loose a bit. Let the silly body loose. Let Pookie loose.
Yeah. Let Poopy loose? Oh, let Pookie. Speaking of poop,
loose.
Iowa Joe, pooping their pants, be a man, say shit. Shut up, Joe. No, I just think I don't know if they're looking ahead to the Eagles game. I don't know if they but the Panthers came out and punched us in the mouth. We couldn't even get any pressure on the quarterback, and that's
no, it was surprising. They had a good plan. I'm still not even too mad about that loss. The Panthers seem to have a very smart game plan against us.
Right.
So it's like, what can you do? In the Panthers, I understand people being worried over that loss because especially they were the underdog. They were the 13.5-point underdogs going into that game. But the Panthers don't have a bad team this year.
Right, the running back that was just freaking. They couldn't stop him.
Rico Dowdle. I picked him up in fantasy, and he's been doing hella good for me.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it goes back to they're professional athletes. They all get paid to do a job. Some days they do better than others. Just like anybody else in an ordinary job. You or I at our job. Some days we have good days. Some days we have bad days. You're not gonna excel every single day to the max. That'd be, I mean, for the most part, impossible. But you just gotta, kind of swallow that game and move on to the next game against the Eagles because I'm not sure how to feel about this Eagles team. They've shown to where they're, where Jalen Hurts can throw for under 100 yards and still win a game. That's just crazy. It's crazy in today's NFL that's possible.
Right. No, but I saw someone else that posted some statistics on X, basically showing that Green Bay is above Philly on everything statistically. So there's no reason we can't beat them.
Yeah.
So
they didn't get much rush because they weren't actually rushing. Mike Kawano calls it a mush rush. They were playing all spies for the potential of Bryce Young scrambling, and Bryce Young still scrambled. So I mean, it's
Yeah, they did. They did.
I mean, like you said, they had a well planned out game plan, and it worked. I mean,
Yeah.
one
They were
by
playing
one
work
by
and
field goal, and
they were playing work, and whatever plan LaFleur had didn't. So
yeah.
it is what it is.
Well, I guess at least they're not getting field goals blocked. But,
Yeah.
for now. What are your thoughts? Were you expecting the Packers to pull the trigger at all in the trade deadline?
I was hopeful, but I mean, that's just we're kind of used to them not doing it. So it's like you hope they can, but at the end of the day, you're like, okay, they don't, and whatever, because we're kind of used to it at this point.
Yeah.
So
Now, earlier this week, was it yesterday, the day before, they brought in Iowa Joe's buddy, Asante Samuel Jr. for whatever workout or whatever. Do you think he comes to the Packers?
I'm calling it. He's coming to Green Bay. I I
I
I,
was
I pinned that on my profile on X. I'm like, I'm calling it. Asante Samuel's going to come to Green Bay. Watch.
Iowa Joe doesn't want him, so
Well, too bad, Joe. We're getting him. He's coming to Green Bay.
no.
You just got to,
I was reading an article like where like he's like pretty much already calling out Green Bay that they're going to take him because I mean all the weapons that Green Bay has on defense. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Like if we can get penetration on defense and get to the quarterback, Samuel can shine. At corner or whatever to make plays. I mean, at this point you have Valentine and Nixon getting scorched. I know, like so like when they play good, they play good, and when they play bad, it's bad. It's there's no in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're getting that pressure on the defensive line and you're getting to the quarterback within that 3 second window, they're going to be out there making plays. But if you give that quarterback more than 3 seconds to get rid of that ball without any pressure, I mean most corners will get burned. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and people don't understand. Not everyone understands the cornerback position is honestly one of the most difficult positions to play because there are so many rules that are built against them. They can't push against. They can only push against wide receivers within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They can't. They can't touch them beyond that. They have to be very strict with how they're covering receivers. It gives more freedom for receivers to stick and move and double move and three step and all that. It's crazy. It's ridiculous, but it makes it so much harder for the cornerback position. So
yeah,
people are like, it's hard. It's hard on them. So I take more positive than the negative from how
right.
how Nixon and Valentine are playing. Hobbs, I think, has proven that Hobbs should be more slot corner than outside corner. He's just not doing it. So he's kind of the reason why we almost lost to Arizona because he got burned by Marvin Harrison Jr. a couple times, and that kept them that kept Arizona in the game a bit.
Yeah.
So
I think of Nixon. I think of the Cowboys game where Dak. Well, you see, who was it coming to the middle? Was it Wyatt getting held? Then Dak was getting pretty much chokehold from behind, and had Parsons not gotten chokehold from behind, he would have gotten the Dak. But Dak threw that sideline dart down the field, and Nixon was like 10 yards off his guy in the end zone, and he had to come back to his guy like at the 13-yard line or whatever it was to get it. I don't know. Anyways, I hope they can get better. I really do. It's just frustrating to see, fourth and long, and you get like a 13-yard gain, and obviously it's going to be your secondary is going to be most likely giving up the play. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is. It's kind of frustrating to see Hobbs isn't living up to his money that he was given this offseason. You hear the stories this offseason of the Packers had to tell him to scale back because he was getting pretty physical at training camp and hurting people and hurting his own teammates, save it for the regular season. And here he is getting benched. And it's like, oh, man, we got to do something,
maybe we shouldn't have told him to dial it back.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. But
Iowa Joe said
give or
Samuel
take.
Jr. got cleared for activities. He's not going to be game ready for a while. The likelihood of him actually being productive this year is low. Yeah, I guess we'll see.
But there are a lot of teams that are biting for him. Like he had visits with 3 teams in the last 3 days, and
Yeah,
then to start next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he also has visits with 3 more teams. So he's a big ticket item right now. I say that speaks volumes. If there's a lot of teams that want him and he's got a lot of visits scheduled, clearly this guy's got some potential. So.
right. Yeah, and one guy that people were joking about at halfway through the season was before the trade deadline was Jair. Bring him back home, bring him back home, and then the shithead goes. Then he goes to Philly. It's like do you think he can be productive in Philly against the Packers?
I mean, obviously, I hope not, but but he still has that potential. He still has the talent, I believe. He has to stay healthy. That's his concern with him. That's why Green Bay let him go, was for the health issues. But when he's healthy, when he's 100%, he's a top 5 corner. He plays like a top 5 corner. He's a lockdown. He's a lockdown guy. That's why it's my boy. He's still
What were
my
your
boy.
thoughts? I guess what were your thoughts on the Bills and Ravens game this year, where he got? Do you think he was 100% there? I mean, he was getting
He got torched.
he got torched. Yeah, I was gonna say,
He got
man,
torched, and I hated to see it. I hate to see it, but I don't think he was 100%. That he did not look 100% in that game. No,
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
not.
I like players like that have like an impact in the Packers' history. It's like you hope the best for them, but when it comes to playing them head on head, or head to head, you want to make sure that obviously they don't have such a good game to where it forces a win for the other team. I was against the Steelers. I was rooting for I wanted Aaron Rodgers to have a decent game, but I didn't want him to win. Obviously against the Packers, and it's kind of funny that one play where Micah Parsons is chasing down from behind and he just got rid of it. And Parsons like nicked his hand, and Rodgers is like, or was it Parsons said that Rodgers told him to buy his house in Green Bay for him or something like that. But it's what's also frustrating to watch in the NFL is Iowa Joe said ever since like Parsons made the comment about like the holds not being called and everything, like it seems like it's happening more and more often and it's not getting called. And going against the Browns, they had a depleted line. Going against Carolina, they had a depleted line. We couldn't get any pressure at all. So it's like I don't know like what's going on there. Is if I don't know. It's I guess any given Sunday, right? Is what they say.
There's been a lot of that this year. There's been
Yeah.
a lot of upsets this year. So, but that's football for you, though. It's a very competitive professional sport. Really, it really is in any given Sunday type game.
Right.
So,
How do you see Monday night turning out?
it'll depend on a few things. It'll depend on who's all playing. It'll depend on what kind of strategy they can put up. It'll depend on how many bubble screens Matt Floor decides to call during the game. Because I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't.
So the one that went to Savion Williams and he fumbled it, right? And then he had another one that was somewhat successful to Savion Williams. And then they was like third and like 5 or 6 or fourth and 6 or whatever, and they went for a bubble screen. It's like my third grader could have called that play. It was going to happen. Why not do the same motion to run the defense over there and run something on the backside? Don't run the same play with the same results. Try to do something like a variation of the same formation, same motions, but there's got to be somebody on the backside that's open for a pass or something. Sometimes they're too predictable, and that gets them. It's like then you get the press conference. It's like, that falls on me. I need to call a better game. It's like we can only hear that so many games in a row, But again, he's a coach, I'm not, so I guess I really can't dwell on that.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think the Packers will win the NFC North?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really firmly still believe that it's gonna be it's gonna come down to the wire though. I mean, you see the Bears got a pretty easy schedule in the next few weeks, so they might get couple more. They might get a few more wins. The Lions are the Lions, and the Vikings surprisingly are better than we thought they were. So we were lucky. We were lucky the Vikings played a good game when they did and beat the Lions. Otherwise, we'd be second division right now.
Yeah, the Vikings, they see the thing is too with these teams that like beat the Lions. The Lions were on a pretty good roll there after we beat them
Mm-hmm.
first week of the season. But then you get teams that beat them that you don't expect to beat them, and obviously you're going to go back and watch the game film on what did they do to beat the Lions, or what did they do to beat the Bears, or whatever. And obviously that's what every team is going to use to try to help them out and everything. So I don't feel like after the Lions last year, after we got steamrolled by them, it's like holy shit, they're a powerhouse. They got Jameson Williams, they got Montgomery, they got Gibbs, they got Amon St. Brown. I mean, their defense, and it's just they were without Hutch for the second half of the year. It's like wow, they're actually have a decent core of guys there, and
Mm-hmm.
they had Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, Dirty Branch in the back in the secondary, and but we were able to beat them in Green Bay, so we know we can beat them, and
Mm-hmm.
I think the Packers they'll get revenge on their NFC North losses from last year for sure, because I didn't expect them to play that horrible last year in the North. So
Right.
what?
I was gonna say there's another reason why I want to tell Packer fans not to panic is because while we're losing games that we shouldn't lose. We're also beating tough competition. We beat the Lions. We beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, and they're tough. They just beat the Colts. Pittsburgh just beat
Yeah,
the Colts, and we beat them the previous week.
right.
That I think we Packers have proven that they can beat top competition. So I
Yeah,
don't think there's any reason why we can't take the division and go to the Super Bowl this year. I think it's a
uh,
very good possibility.
absolutely, and Monday nights in Green Bay as well. So that's another huge key
Mm-hmm.
factor, I think.
Prime time,
Um,
Jordan Love.
yeah, in Green Bay. So
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be a good game to watch, I think, and there's gonna be, I think, a lot of excitement going on in that game. Just trying to
Absolutely.
find. What are your thoughts on the rest of the NFL right now? Like, kind of what's taking shape? Like, what do you think about, let's say, like the Ravens? They played pretty good game last weekend. Lamar
Mm-hmm.
came back from his hamstring injury, and he looked like kind of the old version of himself. The Bills are kicking ass. Um, like
Patriots.
the Patriots, yeah,
I think it's Mike. I think it's Mike Vrabel.
yeah. You think
I
so?
think he's a big difference maker. He did really well. He was coach of the year once with Tennessee. So he's
Yeah.
got the potential. He's got a proven track record. He can win. So I think now it's just he got an opportunity with a team that just needed a new leader, and they have a young quarterback that they can start a new, have a new, I don't want to say a dynasty. I don't want to go that far, but they have potential to be a
To be,
competing team for a
yeah, for
while.
sure. That's you gotta a lot of times you see a lot of these quarterbacks get drafted high and they get shuffled around to several different teams, and then they just fizzle out. Teams give up on them and everything. And Drake May, he's looking pretty good. And like I mean, I think the Patriots kind of did like a rebuild in a way. You know what I'm saying? They kind of are trading people away and getting draft picks and getting new coaching staff, and I think it's all coming together for them, and they're looking pretty good. I mean, hell, the
Mm-hmm.
Colts. Look at the Colts. The Colts are looking good. You know, I can remember when Jonathan Taylor committed to Wisconsin as a running back, and he was a
Mm-hmm.
track star. I think it was in New Jersey. I think he's from,
Yep.
because for a while the Badgers are getting a lot of running backs out of that New Jersey. Ron Dane, Corey Clement. Those guys, and like, he's going to be good. He's going to be good. I wish he would have came back for his senior year at Wisconsin, but he did what he did for a reason, obviously. And then let's just look at him. Look at him go. It's like holy crap.
And
And then you got
he
Daniel Jones. You know?
He's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, well, he kind of got humbled last weekend, but you know he's shown what he has shown the potential that he has. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that's I mean a team that we. It's just funny like think about the Colts because like last year at this time it's like yeah the Colts when we played the Colts we had Malik Willis, so it's not like we're going to pass the ball all too often, and they knew we were going to run the ball. And they still couldn't. We had like 164 yards in the first quarter against the Colts last year, and now they're like one of the best teams in the AFC. That's crazy, you know. So it goes to show if you can clean house, get new coaching staff, get new players, get younger players, do whatever you got to do. But every year is different, every week's different. You know, I mean, you got people in Tennessee are throwing the towel in, and they just fired their coach, and they got Cam Ward, and people are giving up on Cam Ward. It's just like it's crazy. People can be ruthless, you know.
Oh yeah. That's that's the internet for you, and people can hide behind a keyboard. They'll say whatever they want.
Yeah,
So,
that can be fun. That can be fun though.
Cam Ward though, I like Cam Ward though. Like I think that
Yeah,
if Tennessee can get the right head coach next year, he could really be he could be a good quarterback in the NFL. But obviously, this year now it's just working. It's just playing with what he's got. He has no choice. He has to play with what he has. Interim head coach, all that yada yada. And next year, see how he does. See what coach they bring in. See what direction they go with. But he's got potential. He's got high potential. He's good. They wouldn't
yeah,
give him. If they wouldn't give him Warren Moon. They wouldn't give him Warren Moon's number if it wasn't going to be anything good.
yeah.
That's a
Kind of
big deal.
same with not Curly's number not officially retired but retired, and they gave it to Michael Parsons. So yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean I'm rooting for the Titans. I think they have a good young team down there, and like I said, get a new coaching staff in there, let him bring his guys in, and see what they can do. I mean, that's what else you have to lose. It's not like it can get any worse than it already is. It's
Right.
um, trying to think. What are your thoughts on? So obviously Jaden Daniels. I know we're kind of going off Packers topic here, but there's a lot of things kind of going on in the NFL. I mean, obviously, an
Mm-hmm.
injury to Jaden Daniels. You know, and then seeing like you see something like that, and it's like, man, that dude's going to be out for a while. He's just totally
Mm-hmm.
dislocated. Luckily, he didn't tear anything in his elbow, and
Mm-hmm.
and then you see that the Commanders aren't going to put him on injured reserve, and then it immediately came to my head. I put a meme on Twitter of the three Spider-Mans, and it's like the one
Mm-hmm.
was like the front office, and then the other two was like one was RG3 and one was Jane
Mm-hmm.
Daniels. I mean, what are your thoughts on them trying to rush him? Do you get the feeling like they're good trying to rush him back to be a contender?
I mean, you obviously with a quarterback like that, like he's. I would go. I would go as far as say he's definitely a top 10 quarterback in the league. He's proven that in a short time. But I don't think it's that they're rushing him back. They came out recently, like this week, that his injury was actually not as serious as originally everyone thought. That's why they're not putting him on IR because it's more minor than originally it was
Right.
shown. So, but I mean, when you have a quarterback like that, and there, if there's no risk to put him to bring him back sooner, and he's a top 10 guy, he's a top 10 talent, why not?
Right.
If
Uh,
if if he can be healthy, if he can be healthy without
yeah.
without without risk.
Yeah. I just hate to see these young guys with so much talent. Just like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I mean, in a sense, they're being taken advantage of. It's just, I don't want to see him get hurt any more than he already is. It just sucks. It's like kind of like that Tua situation in Miami. It's like,
Yeah.
how they even the Giants, how they got fined for how they handled was it the Cam Skidaboo or Daxton Dart or what's his name? Jackson Dart?
Jackson Dart. Yeah.
Jackson Dart, how they handled his concussion or whatever.
Mm.
Like they rushed. I mean, it's just like they got. these guys have lives, man, and I don't know. It's
Health's got to be a priority. Yeah.
yeah. And I know I touched on the trade deadline that the Packers fell asleep on. And what are your thoughts on the Cowboys and how active they were in free agency? They got Quinnen Williams from the Jets and linebacker Logan Wilson from the Bengals to bolster their defense.
Mm, they
What are
need
your thoughts on that?
they definitely. I'd say those are definitely must need additions for their defense because their defense has been faltering badly. That's been their big. That's been the reason why they've been losing games because even like against Green Bay, I know that was a tie, but they still give up 40 points. They've been getting shredded by teams all year. Their offense is the only reason why they're competing. Because
Yep.
Dak is Dak. You got CD. George Pickens was a really good addition. Javonte Williams has been really good. But their defense is giving up 30, 40 points a game. It's not you can't win games when defenses play like that. So
Yeah,
it gives
and
them,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say adding players like that, it gives them a better chance to win games.
Yeah, and I mean everyone's so like I mean, I was just sorry, randomness on my part.
You're
Everyone's
good.
so like the Packers, they need a corner. They need a corner. I mean, I get it. So I guess if you like historically, you like the Packers against the Lions, the Packers against the Commanders, they got to the quarterback and they made them like scramble and hurry their decisions. Like
Yeah.
not it's not going to be every single game where you're going to get that pressure on a quarterback. So you got to live with the bad and enjoy the good. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
that one stat against the Lions. I'm trying to think of what it was now. Without Parsons on the field, the defense was getting to Jared Goff like 3.8 seconds, and with Parsons on the field, they were getting to him within like 2.5 seconds. That 1 second's huge. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
those first two games, all us Packer fans are like, "Holy shit, Keyshawn Nixon's like he's going to be an All Pro, man. Look at him. Look at Valentine. Look at whatever." But
Mm-hmm.
then once you can't get pressure from your defensive line, it tells a whole different story. So
Mm-hmm.
it's I can see people's need to want to get Samuel Jr. and get these
Mm-hmm.
guys and everything. But if you can't get pressure to the quarterback, you can get anybody you want. And it ain't gonna matter. I mean, even
Right.
Charles Woodson got burned in his prime. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. And you just sometimes the Packers have the weapons. I mean, they've got like they've Van Ness has been hurt. Gary's been doing pretty good. Parsons is doing decent. Cooper's doing good. Quay Walker's playing good. We were without Devontae Wyatt for a while, so I'll get him back rolling. And
Mm-hmm.
we got McDuffie and McKinney and Bullard. They seem to be playing a little bit better. So I mean, we have all the weapons. It's just a matter of getting that pressure to that quarterback and being consistent. And then when you're on offense, foot to the throat. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Stomp them and
So
keep stomp them to the ground and keep stomping them.
yeah,
All gas, no
absolutely,
brakes.
absolutely. Were there
Mm-hmm.
any other really big trade deadline moves that were made?
Sauce Gardner to the Colts.
Yeah. What do you
That
think
was
about that?
huge. I love that move for them. The Jets clearly weren't going to be. I'm kind of and no offense to like Jets fans, but I'm kind of happy they're doing bad after how they did Aaron Rodgers dirty. So
Yeah, absolutely, for
that
sure.
you make Aaron Rodgers fly all the way across the country just to tell him something that you could have told him over a text.
Yeah,
What
right.
that's such a disrespectful move to do. That's I can't get behind that. I can't respect that. I can't. Mm-mm. No, so
Yeah,
I'm glad to see Rodgers go to an organization that actually respects him. He already had a good relationship with Mike Tomlin beforehand, and they got the ball rolling, and now they're leading their division. And Rodgers is looking like vintage Rodgers.
he,
He's not like elite level MVP level Rodgers, but he's still good. He's still really
He's
good.
playing better than 85% of the league right now. You know what I mean? He's probably top. As far as like how he can still get the ball out and his. I mean, he's probably top 5, maybe top 8 quarterbacks in the league right now. We're just you know what I mean? It's just not like he has. I mean, he has Metcalf. I mean, he has a decent team, and he's still throwing the ball good. You know what I mean? It's it's like the Jet situation. When stories come out like Woody Johnson's grandkids, oh, this guy was good for me on Madden, and go out and get him or do whatever. And how the hell do you run an organization based off of that? You know what I mean? It's like it's like the same thing as like, hey, grandson, go up in the box and play Madden, and every time you're on defense, just do ask Madden and then relay it down to the coordinators and have them run that defensive play. You know what I mean? It's just you would think the Jets being like in Jersey would be like a more polarizing team to play for. I mean, you gotta make the team desirable to come and play for to get good talent. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if we were on before or after Parsons came to Green Bay. We were on back in the draft, around the draft, weren't we? Draft time. So yeah. So it's funny. So I don't know if you know the story or not, but I met up with like Iowa Joe and a couple other guys in the parking lot, like right where they pull out on Oneida Street there, where the players pull out and go down whatever Oneida Street. And it was a Friday before the Packers last preseason game, and there was kind of rumors swirling around about Micah Parsons to Green Bay, and people are like, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it, and they're lighting off fireworks around the top of the stadium, probably getting ready for like touchdowns or pregame celebrations or whatever. And I go to Joe, I go, yeah, they're just getting ready to announce the Micah Parsons trade. And next thing you know, like the next week, he's on his way to Green Bay. He's a Packer. It's like, wow. And I still can't believe that he's a Packer. I know what type of impact he has, and it's just everyone's saying that the deal isn't gonna work out for the Packers I think is delusional, because you look at his history and he's accomplished something that only Reggie White has accomplished. I mean that's
huge.
That's saying huge. That's huge. I mean that speaks for itself right there. And it's just I just don't get it. He loves the organization. He walked into Lambeau. He saw the numbers on the wall. He goes, I want my number up there. I want to be like that. And I think it's pretty cool. And even like he's like, yeah, some players are like, yeah, it's kind of a smaller town, so it's like he's like, maybe that's what I need right now in my life is not a lot of distraction around me to where I can work on my game and whatever else he's got to do. And so I'm excited for the next couple of years having Micah Parsons as a Packer, and hopefully for the long future too, because he can only get better, I think, with age. So it's gonna be fun to watch.
Reggie White was the same deal. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What's up?
Reggie White was the same deal. Like he just got better as he got older, and he had some of his best years with Green Bay, and that was all in his 30s.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Reggie White, you look at Charles Woodson, kind of the same thing. Charles Woodson, it's for those that don't know, I'm sure you know, but growing up in Madison, I was just a huge Badger fan. Still, I'm a huge Badger fan. Do I agree with what's going on in Madison right now? Not really, but that's their mess they got to take care of. I'm still going to root for the Badgers no matter what. But I remember watching like Charles Woodson against the Badgers when he played for Michigan, returning kickoffs and playing both ways, and that interception he had on the sideline against Michigan State, and it's just like, man, this guy's it. He's like legit. He is the man, And then he went to the Raiders, went out and got a Raiders jersey with Charles Woodson, Charles Woodson Raiders jersey, and that was back when they played the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. And then, he came to the Packers. It's like, oh my God, is this even real? Kind of like a Micah Parsons thing now, It's just crazy that for the Packers to see these legends come through and play for the team is just, it's like pinch me. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And you saw what White did for Favre, what Woodson did for Rodgers, Now, what can Parsons do for Love? Is it going to end up with number 5 or
Mm.
technically number 14? But you know,
We go by
I just
14. We go by 14.
yeah, it depends. I wanted to make sure that I connected with both crowds there because some are big. Oh, you only got 4, or you only got whatever, and you know,
Mm. Yeah.
so um, yeah,
How many?
I'm go
Sorry,
ahead.
go. No, you go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I'm just excited for the future of the Packers. Yeah, I mean, every team's
Mm.
going to hit road bumps. You know what I mean? It's just nothing's going to be perfect. And the last time when everything was almost nearly perfect, we had a first round bye and got beat in the second round. So I mean,
Mm. Yeah. Can't get too excited. Can't get too there up there, but that's what it is. Yeah.
yeah. And then you bring up the 2010 Packers and how they were a wild card, and they just went in and just scorched their competition.
Mm.
And people were like, "Oh, you bringing up the past? Well, what else do you have to compare it to?" You know what I mean? People with the
Mm.
Lions, oh, they had half their team on IR. Look at the Packers in 2010. You can't tell me they didn't either. You know what I mean? And it's like, well,
No.
that was 15 years ago. It doesn't matter. Well, it's the same exact excuse you're using right now. So, except
Mm.
for back then, we won the championship, and
Yeah, we had a lot. We had a lot of guys on IR, and a lot of practice squad players being brought up, called up.
yeah,
We had Nick Barnett, who was a really good linebacker around that time, and then he had to get put on IR. Then you have guys like a guy like Frank Zombo step up and was stellar for us the latter half of that year. It's crazy. It happens. That was
yeah.
beautiful.
It's crazy that yeah. I remember I got on social media like Nick Barnett had following him on X, or I forgot what platform it was, and he'd have packages delivered to his house in De Pere, and and people were right like "Go Bears" if they're Bears fans on his packages and stuff, and he'd post pictures, and um, yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, you never know. I mean, you could be the best team and you could lose, to the worst team.
Mhm.
It's all part of how you play and how you read and how you react, and
Mhm.
and it's I don't know. I'm trying to look up the Packers injury list from
They practiced today since they play Monday. So I know two guys for sure were listed out. Van Ness being one of them. I can't remember who the other guy was.
yeah, but I mean the Packers like we're with giving up the 2 first round draft picks in back-to-back years for Micah Parsons. Where do you see the Packers drafting in the early picks next year?
Good question. Because I mean, I don't. It's hard to say. Probably more corner than anything. We definitely need the second. We definitely need the corner help. That's for sure. Otherwise, I wouldn't be surprised to see Good pull the trigger on another second round O lineman like he did this year. That was still a bit of a surprise, but it's shown that it's hopeful now. That was one of our concerns the last couple of years, was our lack of O line depth, and then we grabbed Anthony Belton in the second round this year, and then we picked up Kennard from the Eagles. And you see all these guys that we have rotating in and out with injuries, and our O line is holding up.
Yeah,
So
I see them drafting line is. I mean, people laugh, but offensive line is huge. It's obviously.
mm,
I mean, you look at this last game against Carolina, and like back, and I think it was in the same series, same drive. Lineman came off of the Panthers, and it's just like it sucks. These guys go out and they try to do it, and they can't. So it's like
mm,
obviously you need someone you can depend on for backups. And you look back at the Packers during the COVID years, back in the early 2020s, and remember like the whole Packers front line was shuffled around because people are out with injuries. You're moving Elton Jenkins up and down the line. You're moving, these guys all up and down the line, and they made it work. And you got
mm,
to be able to draft guys that are flexible and that can play multiple positions up and down the line. And then you got to think, well, back in college they might have played here, in high school they might have played here. So between high school and college and pros, they should have experience. And you kind of like on the basketball court, if you play the one, the two, the three, the four, or the five, especially like in youth sports, when you're younger, you should know what every spot does in case you got to play that spot. You know what you're doing. So I think the Packers. I think they're going to go corner if they don't. I don't even know who's going to be a free agent this offseason for the Packers, but
That's a good
I,
question. Yeah.
I think you'd want to go cornerback and then probably the line because they have a pretty solid young defensive line. They have Wooden, they got White, they got Van Ness, they got Micah, they got Rashawn Gary can play off the 3-point stance. You got so they just got to get. Sorry, I'm trying to.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of people out there. Darius Slay. But even then, do you really have the money to go out and make a splash on a top defensive corner? You know what I mean?
And after the money we just spent on Hobbs, yeah, I don't know. I don't know
But
if we might. I know we still have some cap room right now, so I think there might be room to get a decent guy. Maybe not like a high end guy, but maybe someone in the middle range that we get for a decent price. Maybe.
I had half the notion that the Packers might try to shop Rashawn Gary at the trade deadline to get potential first round picks back. That was just a thought, but they didn't,
Yeah.
which is good. It's good, but yeah, I think they got to go out and get corner for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone that can play boundary. We don't need slot. We got guys that can play slot. Plugging in either Bullard has been doing really well.
Yeah.
He's made a huge second year leap. I think he's been stellar. We just need a guy that can fill in the other boundary spot opposite Nixon. I say Nixon has been playing more good than bad. Honestly, he's second in the league in pass breakups. He's been locking down most guys. He's been taking number ones almost every game. He's been covering number one guys every game and been doing very well for the most part. But I said it's a tough position to play. So
Yeah, they're just receivers that can't catch the ball. That's what they say about the corners. They're receivers that can't catch.
it's okay. We don't need him to catch. We just need him. We just need deflection.
Well, a catch every now and then is good. Going the other way for a touchdown, we could go for that.
Yeah. It'd be nice if we can get one of those. Maybe we can get one of those against Hurts on Monday. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, you got Hurts, who's his stats aren't all that great this year. I mean,
No, not really. One interception, but he also, like you said, he doesn't throw the ball a lot. He doesn't get a lot. They can win games without him throwing a lot. So,
yeah, he's throwing for like first week he threw for 179, then he threw for 326, 283, 280, 130, 226, 101, 152. He's thrown for 15 TDs and one interception, so he's decent. But I mean, the one game against the Chiefs, he 101 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. How the hell do you throw for 101 yards? Jalen Hurts
and
win, right?
Push merchant.
If I think the Packers. So the big difference against the Eagles last year for the Packers, they couldn't stop Saquon. They didn't have that guy to meet him out in the flats on his runs. Now they got Micah. You know what I mean? So that's huge. If I don't know how the Packers would even try to attack it. Would you put a spy on
I think you put a spy
Saquon?
Yeah.
You get a faster, a physical. Would you put Parsons on him, or would you put like a
Cooper.
Cooper?
Or
Yeah,
Cooper on him.
or Quay.
Or either one, but I like Cooper a little more. I think he's a little quicker to the ball.
Yeah,
They're both really good. They're both fast. They're both very agile, strong linebackers that can get they can get to the quarterback too when they really want to. But I would say Cooper's got an extra step. I think.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of cool. Like during the bye week, during Packers bye week this year, Parsons posted a video to was it TikTok or was it Instagram, whatever. He was at Adrian Cooper's ranch. He has a ranch outside of Green Bay, like between Green Bay and Luxembourg or something like that. And he's out there like on his ranch, like watching horses run around. And it's just you think of Adrian Cooper, you don't think of like a cowboy, but he's living the life of a cowboy right now. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad they got him. I see nothing but good things out of him coming. I really do. I'm glad the Packers got him.
Same. That was my favorite draft pick last year was him. I wanted him so bad. I was so happy we got him, and
that was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
It was last year. It was last year we drafted him. So this is his second year.
Yeah, his second year. Yeah.
So he's been stellar.
I like the Bear and Sorrell. He's been hurt, but when he's been in, he's made an impact. Even that Warren Brinson, he's done good. The Packers don't often swing and miss on drafts, but I think overall Goody's done a good job. Speaking of that, what are your thoughts? So this is the last. Was it this year? Next year is the last. Is the contract year for the coach and the GM in Green Bay. What are your thoughts on what do they got to do to get an extension?
They got to stop being so conservative. That's a big thing. They got to. Matt LaFleur was the one that said all gas. We're going to be all gas, no brakes, but he's not proving it. He hasn't been proving it. He's too many bubble screens, too much predictability, playing down to the team's level. No, play more like. I know this is going to sound bad, but be more like be more like a Dan Campbell, the Lions, bite their freaking kneecap and keep going. Like. Yeah. I know I'm quoting a rival, but I mean he's proven himself. Be aggressive. He's got to learn to be more aggressive and change his play calling up a little bit more. He's gotten to be too predictable. So
yeah, like you said, you gotta if you have a team and you got the tools on defense and offense to go right to the freaking throat. And I mean even you're getting Wicks back. You got Watson. Watson's looking freaking freakishly amazing. Then in a couple of weeks, they said by Thanksgiving or the game after, they're going to have Jaden Reed back. So you're going to have, dependable Dubs. You're going to have Watson. You're going to have Reed. You're going to have Wicks. You're going to have Malik Heath. You're going to have, whoever else. I mean, one thing we haven't talked about is the impact of the loss of Tucker Kraft. Like, I know it sucks big time, but I think Luke Musgrave can fill the role in a sense. He can catch and run. He has height. He has speed. He can. Maybe needs to work on blocking a little bit, but other than that, he can get the job done. It's
absolutely he's improved since his rookie year when we made that big. That was Jordan Love's first year, and Musgrave had a lot of good plays, but he also had a lot of plays where he couldn't stay on his feet. Now he can stay on his feet. I think that was really his only issue, but. He's got all his attributes you listed. He's got good hands. He's got good route running. He's got good speed, good size. Kraft was definitely the better blocker for sure. Bigger and he's bigger. Kraft was a bigger dude overall. So he's got the more the physicality than Musgrave. Musgrave is more the athletic tight end, which I'm good with that. If we can get him the ball more, just get him the ball more. I think we'll be all right. We got some guys we picked up, or was it that we brought up from practice? Josh Wiley, who was in the same draft class as Kraft and Musgrave, and he was a guy that Packers were looking at going into that draft too. So that's And Fitzpatrick's got a touchdown this year.
Yeah.
Not a bit. So I'd say our tight end group is looking a lot better than people think it is.
Yeah. I just, I feel horrible for Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
Same number, same type of injury that Robert Tonyan had. And Tonyan, when Rodgers had him, he was unstoppable. And it's just ever since he got hurt, he wasn't the same. You know what I mean? And it just sucks that what's going on with him. But you just got to be like next man up mentality. You know what I mean? So I did eventually was able to pull up key cornerback free agents for 2026. You got Reek Woolen from Seattle. Jair, he's going to be a free agent.
You can bring him back.
Darius Slay, he's on Pittsburgh. Byron Murphy and the Vikings. Charvarius Ward on the Colts. Then you got Jonathan Jones for the Commanders. Rasul Douglas, Xavier Howard, Amik Robertson, Khair Elam from the Cowboys. So I mean, there's some good young names out there. I mean, maybe you just try to get them. If not, just kind of go through the draft. I mean, you can find someone that's decent and pay them a rookie contract versus paying them, a high free agent value and get no production out of them, Nate Hobbs. But yeah, I think the Packers are doing the right thing. Yeah, a couple bad losses, and they're just in those bad losses, they're inconsistent, and even like in the losses, and even a tie against the Cowboys, people are like, yeah, Jordan Love, out of all the losses, I think, he had his worst performance against Carolina. But then again, it is windy, field goal got missed. It would have been a tie. It's just a whole bunch of different factors. But against like the Browns came down and scored those points like in the last, however minutes of the game, the whatever. And Jordan Love drove the team back down the field, got him in the field goal range, and then the field goal got blocked. So it really wasn't his fault. He did what he had to do. Against the Cowboys, he wasn't on defense giving up 40 points. You know what I mean? He put 40 points on the board, or he was a key part of it, and you can't blame him for what the defense gave up. So he's in the two losses in the tie. He's had maybe one bad performance, and that was against Carolina. But I mean, I'll take it. As long as he can learn and grow from his mistakes and get better throughout the season. It's sometimes you got to hit rock bottom to get to the top, and or get back to the top. So
it's definitely been far more good than bad. I'd say it's more up
for sure. What are your thoughts looking for the second half of the season? How do you think we're going to finish? What are we now? We're 5-2-1. Right. What are your thoughts?
We still got a few tough games. We still got to play. We still got to play the Broncos later in the year, the Ravens. We still got to play. We got to play the Lions again. I think that'll be another good game on Thanksgiving. I still say we're going to win the division. I really firmly believe we're going to win the division, but it'll definitely be a bit of a tough test. We'll have some. Well, we play the Giants, but I don't want to say that's a gimme game because we said that about the Browns and the Panthers, and look at that. So I don't want to. Jackson Dart, dude, actually looks pretty good too. So, but now we got a decently tough schedule overall. We still got to play the Vikings twice, Bears twice. I'm confident. I'm confident they'll win majority overall. If we get another loss or two, I think at best, at the least, I think we'll get maybe like one or two losses, and then finish out at least at 12, 13 wins. They still have a possibility of hitting 14, being a record of 14-2-1. It's still a possibility.
Yeah,
but I think more realistically, it'll probably be either 12. It'll be 12-4-1 or 13-3-1. I think is more.
Yeah,
which is still pretty good. So
yeah, I think they're kind of in a spot where I guess I've said before that Jaden Reed. I hate seeing injuries, but I think it was a blessing he got hurt when he did because he was dealing with that Jones fracture and then with the broken collarbone. So when he went in for surgery, he got both operated on. So when he comes back, he's going to be fully recovered from both. So that's huge. And I think, obviously, we ain't getting Tucker back this year, so that's gonna suck. But I think we'll be ready for when it comes to playoff time to be all 100% healthy, and just as long as you can make the playoffs. I mean, we beat the Lions, we beat the Command. I mean, we've had some good wins. I mean, you can't look past that, and I just think you just gotta get to the playoffs, and then you're 0-0. You know what I mean? You just gotta start over. So. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Monday night's game for sure. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think the Packers are going to surprise people on Monday. I really do. I think they're going to get their revenge on um, Philly from last year. I still think that hit on Jordan Love is dirty. I'm not going to waver. I'm not going to waver away from that. I think the Packers can at least. We got what five division games left. One with the Lions and two each with the Bears. I think we can win 80% of those games. And I think we'll do enough to. I mean, hopefully get home field in the playoffs, and hopefully we can make Lambeau a home field advantage for us. It used to be so much in the past. Lambeau used to be the biggest, if you're an opposing team going to Lambeau, you're coming out with a big L. You're not going to win. But lately, it's been you come in there and you're coming out with a W. So we got to change that narrative around. It's Lambeau needs to be home field for the Packers for sure.
We need to make them fear Lambeau again.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna have a big game for the Packers on Monday? On offense and defense.
I think offense. I think Watson will explode. Have a really big game. He's got a good history against the Eagles. I think that's gonna show up more again on Monday. And then defensively, I don't know. I think overall defensively it's going to be a good game. I think maybe, I'll just call it. I'll just call it like I was saying about Edgerrin Cooper. I think Edgerrin Cooper. I think it would be smart if he plays spy on Saquon, and I think he does that. I think he's going to have a stellar game.
Yeah, I would say rotate Cooper and Quay Walker on Barkley, because that's a huge task for anyone to take up. That each other subbing for each other. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Monday night, and I think the Packers are going to come out with a victory. I think they're sick of hearing the outside noise, and they want to prove a point. And what's a better place to do it than on national TV? You know what I mean? So I think the Packers come on top on Monday. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up the show for tonight. I want to thank you for being on. It's always a pleasure to ramble on about our Packers, and just my mind's going here, then it's going there, then it's going over here, then it's over here, but it's okay. I'm glad you came on tonight, and I'll look forward to having you on later on in the season, and maybe once the playoff picture kind of shapes up, we'll get you back on and get your thoughts. Where can people find you on socials?
You find me. You got my tag is here on the bottom of the screen at Chill Cheesehead on X. I run the Oat page on TikTok, Ohana Packers on TikTok, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I want to give a special shout out to Iowa Joe, Mike Kawano, Aaron. We're all part of the Ohana Packers network. So it gives me the platform to do my podcast. You can check them out at Ohana_Packers on Twitter. You can check me out at CheezeTalk_pod on Twitter. And if you go into my profile, you can find my link tree that has the links to my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube. I have it all on there. Come say hi. But yeah, anything else before we go?
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. Thanks again, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Brian. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.